No. I'll tell you everything, just don't hit me. I never stole nothing. I only just joined the thieflings. The tiefling gestures back the way he came, as if that explains something. It was all them. Back there. They found an underground passage to the Grey Garrison and they've been nicking stuff out of there ever since. Low-down thieving torags, that's what they are. But I had nothing to do with it, I swear. Brother Gord, is that you? Brother Woljif. I thought you'd pegged it in Erebeth's jail. Happy to see you too. An honest guy who's fallen in with some bad folks. The thieflings, the local thieves around here, they forced me to join their gang. But I didn't want to. Just don't hand me over to Erebeth, valiant crusaders. Please, in the name of all the gods there ever were. Gord here is a new addition to the thieflings. So far he's swiped around 5,000 gold. He's got a long way to go before he catches up with me, mind. They made me do it. You're one of them crusaders, ain't you? You lot hate our guts, the thieflings, I mean. You lock us up and do worse to us. The tiefling gulps loudly. But I'm not a thiefling. Not really. Right, so the temple round here, the temple of Iomity, has a cellar, and a passage leads from it right to the Grey Garrison. The thieflings, my pals, damn the lot of them, have been using this passage on and off to sell all sorts of stuff to the soldiers in the Grey Garrison. So when the demons burst into the city, we thought we'd check up on the Grey Garrison to, see how the soldiers were faring. And to offer our assistance. Don't gimme that look. This is the first I'm hearing of this. Thieflings keep secrets from each other too, you know. Yeah. Let me go, please. I'll give you everything I've got. Just don't kill me. The tiefling hurriedly turns out his pockets. Cheers for letting me go like this, I'll remember you 100 years, I will. I'll name my firstborn after you. Under your stare, the tiefling falls silent and then runs off.
Die already! Don't mind me.
longer, I wonder?
They will not expect my strike.
You won't survive me.
I'll split you in half!
I'm done with you.
Did you see that?
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
Endure this!
Ashan is sorry. The spirits demand your blood.
Distract them from me.
Smear them. I don't like you! Out of my way! I'll split you in half!
Time to share your treasures.
Smear them! follow me or don't. Move aside.
The spirits guide me.
We'll make this quick. She won't feel a thing.
I don't know. Can we really do this?
Listen, we don't have a choice. There are demons everywhere. What else would you have us do?
A group of knights surrounds a young elven girl. She is dressed in rags that barely cover the hideous scars on her body. The beggar girl is on her knees, watching placidly as the people argue heatedly around her. It is as if she doesn't sense the looming threat at all. A black crow flies in agitated circles above her head.
In Iomede's name, we're sorry, girl, but it is our duty. We have to do this, not for our own sake, but for the sake of everyone who can still be saved from the demons. If we don't win this battle, you won't have long to live anyway.
They're insane! We've got to do something!
I understand. You're scared. You feel powerless. You think this will help. You don't have to justify yourselves to me. Just do what you've decided to do.
I am Iomede's paladin. If I lie, may the goddess strike me down. What you intend to do is a repugnant crime and heinous blasphemy.
Exactly. What were you thinking? The goddess would never allow this.
Whose idea was this anyway? I think it was yours.
My idea? I was against the whole thing right from the start. Who said we needed to make a sacrifice? Wasn't it you? You can't blame anyone else for that.
Please don't fight! All of you are good people, defenders of the city. You just made a mistake. Please don't hurt them.
The little girl is defending the people who wanted to slaughter her a minute ago. She's either a saint or she's insane. Maybe the two together.
Hey, I know her. I see her all the time on the street. She's a couple of cards short of a full deck, if you know what I mean.
Hi. Remember when we used to play together when we were little? But then you went and got all big. And I stayed the same for some reason.
Huh? I played with you? Pull the other one.
You did. We played tag and hide and seek. Then you and the bigger boys came up with the game where you all threw stones at me. You laughed so hard, it made me happy too. But then you grew up and went away to do grown-up things. Wanna play with me now?
For the love of... Canabras is too damn small.
Thank you.
They're gone. And they all lived. I was sure that someone would die today. So many people have died here already. but we are still alive for some reason. Strange, isn't it? But you shouldn't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a silly girl, really. No, don't be silly. I'm very ordinary. Well, I know different types of tricks, but Soot taught me those. Now Soot here, she truly is unusual. She's clever and she can talk, but only to me. She teaches me magic tricks and lots of other stuff. I don't know what I'd do without her. If you want to, kill me.
I won't let you hurt my friends! The world in crimson!
Dayan.
No glory without risk!
This is not my time yet. I don't like you.
This pain is excruciating.
It's all your fault.
So this is how it feels?
Out of my way. I won't go down.
So this is how it feels.
its greatest challenge.
We will win this war.
Don't care.
Always be ready for the worst. I'm all ears.
You can trust me.
Meditate on your mistakes. Might make you feel
I'll let you know.
I appreciate privacy. I'll split you in half!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel. You won't survive me.
Leave a bruise.
Endure this!
What's on your mind? I wonder.
I'm here. Where else would I be?
They will break against our resolve.
Cover me, all right?
The elf hunched up next to you is clutching a small, but deep, puncture wound. Her appearance is quite remarkable, her skin is blacker than any Garandy's, her teeth are fanged, and her hair is as grey as a crone's. Her crimson eyes glare at you with a gleam of malice.
What are you looking at, soldier? Like what you see?
It appears that this woman is a drow, her race is also known as dark or cavern elves. They are rarely seen on the surface, so it is surprising to encounter her here.
A demon's handiwork. Some shrieking spawn flew across the sky, raining corruption down upon us all. I was caught in the attack. It's fine, it'll go away soon.
She shrugs nonchalantly and looks past you. She flinches, looking at you with undisguised sorrow.
You have a keen eye for these things, don't you, soldier? You guessed correctly, I am a drow. But don't think that gives you the right to judge me. There is much you don't know about me, and never will know. Believe me, it's for your own good.
She responds with a razor-sharp smile.
Haven't you noticed? The city is burning, there's a battle going on. I was wounded by a cultist.
Giving you a scrutinizing look, she says harshly.
There's no point in you knowing, soldier. Trust me, the answer would only bring you misfortune, and it still wouldn't be of any use to you. I'm a wanderer you won't ever meet again. That's a lie.
Her crimson eyes flash, and she says firmly.
I loathe demons and I'll kill any I come across.
She's clearly holding something back, but she doesn't appear to be lying either. Whatever it is she's hiding, her claim that she hates demons sounds quite convincing.
What, was I supposed to pour my heart out?
She looks at you defiantly.
You have your war, soldier. I have mine. You're fighting chaos and madness, and I'm fighting lies and hypocrisy. But we are both willing to die for our cause, aren't we? It was never my intention to set foot in there. Farewell, soldier, and thank you for believing me.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Move aside.
Death is life's final surprise, and I enjoy surprising people.
Never a dull moment. Make way!
Make every strike count. You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Near them.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Did I mess up again?
I'll cut you wide open!
You won't survive me.
Distract them from me.
The demon puts 2 plates on the table in front of me. On each, a bleeding human heart. Look, he says. The right one belongs to a noble and righteous man, a loyal servant of Iomade. The left one is the heart of a murderer and a scoundrel. But something tells me they taste exactly the same. I remain silent and don't move. I couldn't if I tried. One of my hands is pinned to the wide armrest, with a knife thrust to the hilt.
Don't know?
The other similarly pinned helpless on the table. The demon circles and carefully brushes away a strand of hair that stuck to my forehead. Your silence saddens me. Don't waste your time on this performance, monster, I say, though I have scarcely the energy to breathe. If you wish to torture me, go ahead. If you want to kill me, then kill me. My life is in your hands. But my soul is not, and never will be. The hearts on the plates in front of me continue oozing blood. They've only just been ripped from their owners' bodies. The right one, apparently, belonged to my partner, the left, to the criminal we were escorting. But the demon, who'd set his lair in the old mill, killed without discrimination. He walks around the armchair, and stops behind my back, placing a clawed hand on my shoulder. This is not a performance at all. It's a feast, and I will be sated. No, not with this. He can see my eyes still on the hearts. With you. It's your heart that's in front of me right now. So helpless, the claws on my shoulder tighten a bit. Goddess, help me endure. After a moment, the demon continues. You know what you don't understand, you zealous servants of law and good. He seems to like the sound of his own voice. It was you who brought us to your land. The more of you who gather here, at the edge of the world wound, so brave, burning with righteous wrath, the more like me will come from the abyss. It's not because we want to win a war and conquer your world. Perhaps our lords want this, but trust me, they are as far removed from their subjects as your lords and kings are from you. No, we come for those like you. For the persistent and the proud, who won't break until the end. For those whose suffering is sweet and lasts. For the sweets. He appears in front of me again, licking his lips. I well know that he'll never grant me a quick death.
Follow me, or don't.
my beloved brother. I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will ever emerge from? Or perhaps you're concerned that someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and will accidentally fall into it. Such foresight is laudable, but do you really need so many soldiers for such a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use, for instance, fighting demons, or clearing rubble, while the people trapped beneath it might still be alive? The face of this golden-curled Aasimar is beautiful even by the standards of his kind, in whose veins runs the blood of angels. His melodious voice sounds cheerful, but bitter reproach simmers in his gaze. The demons still haven't entirely broken through the defenses of Kenabers, but time is running out. Don't you dare call me brother, heretic. The signs of recent, hard fighting are obvious in this stern old man. His armor is dented and covered in blood, and his unnatural pallor suggests something more dangerous than wounds inflicted by claws and fangs. Nevertheless, his gaze is stony and his voice, accustomed to barking orders, is harsh and clipped. How dare you accuse me of doing nothing to protect the city? Especially now, when followers of your temple were caught committing treason. To my mind, you are no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that in your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you have long since forgotten how to tell friend from foe, and good from evil. That's what happened with my adepts, whose act of treason was a genuine attempt to save the city. And yet again, I am forced to repeat myself, while we are wasting time on pointless quarrels, people are dying under the rubble in our city. People whom we could have saved if you had only set your soldiers to the task, and not kept them here, surrounding a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless. Well, if it's on your say-so, then that must mean there is someone down there. Your associates, no doubt. And they're just waiting for us to abandon our posts before they slink out and try again too. The old man notices your approach. And you, I remember you. You appeared in my city the day the demons attacked and Turendalep died. What are you doing here? Answer at once, or I'll have you strung up by your ankles before you know it. Don't think that the demons have wounded me, I still have enough strength to take on 100 of your sort. And what is this hideous creature? Helrun peers at Lon with suspicion. Lon, at your service. The mongrel ducks his head in a bow. My forebears fought in the First Crusade. I've lived in Kenabers my whole life, you haven't ever seen me before? Ah, it must be because you don't ever venture into our underground district. We have been meaning to complain to the city authorities that our paving stones have been in need of repair for a long time. The First Crusade. So, you're a mongrel. You obviously know human speech, surprisingly well, in fact. Alright, let's be off with you. The prelate looks at you. If he causes any trouble, I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. I find it passing strange that you don't already know who I am. Helrun Shapok, prelate of Kenabers. Inquisitor by the grace of Iomade, defender of the city by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Gaffrey. Against threats from within and without. Kenabers' famed prelate, Helrun Shapok, first gained the trust and admiration of city's people by organizing inquisitions against suspected demon worshippers and witches. Helrun and his force of elite witch hunters exposed dozens of cultists and spies, and, it is said, executed many more under suspicion but with no real proof. These events started the Third Crusade, widely accepted as the least effective and most self-destructive of the four crusades. Still, Helrun evoked respect and admiration in the populace as well as fear, and agreed to guide the city as its prelate. Queen Gaffrey is the absolute monarch of the Crusader state of Mendef and leader of the Mendevian Crusades. While today the name of the Crusader Queen is known throughout the Inner Sea region, it's easy to forget that Gaffrey did not start her rule of Mendef as a paladin of Iomade, but rather of Eroden. When the world wound opened and forever changed Mendef, Gaffrey was still an untested young ruler who was forced to deal with the death of her god while simultaneously rallying her nation against the abyssal threat to the west. She rose to the challenge, however, and her leadership was instrumental over the next several years, not only in protecting Mendef from demonic invasions, but also in holding the border against the world wound. When the Church of Iomade organized the First Crusade, it joined forces with Mendef to push back the demon armies. During these battles, Gafri time and time again distinguished herself with a keen grasp of tactics and skill at leadership. But this inspiration went both ways. In the Church of Iomade, Gafri found something to replace her lost faith. By the time the First Crusade ended with the apparent defeat of the demon armies, Gafri had converted and become a worshipper of Iomade, and had completely retrained herself as one of the inheritors' most devout paladins. Eager to retain such a valuable leader at the head of the Crusades, the Church of Iomade twice purchased and presented to the Queen the rare and expensive Sun Orchid elixir, which extends mortal life beyond its usual span. Thanks to this boon, the Queen has lived and led the Crusaders for more than a century. And, as we can see, you've done a sterling job protecting the city. The golden-curled Aasimar flashes a flinty smile. I am Ramian of Edmi, prior of the Temple of Desna, which, alas, currently lies in ruins. Wise Hulrun here believes it is vital to guard this hole in the ground, from which he is certain demons will emerge at any moment. I have been trying to convince him that the city has far more urgent matters to deal with. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. You know what? There may in fact be one matter that is more important than guarding this hole. I put it off, and look where it's led us. I should have had you hung from the gates back when you dared to defend your gang of delinquent demon collaborators. If the Sarkorians had hanged Aurila Forlesh while they had the chance, there never would have even been a war. I won't repeat their mistake, I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum.
Prelate, see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without trial, that is unworthy of a servant of Iomade.
The old man fixes his eyes on Sela. Lest you forget, girl, we may serve the same goddess, but you are not an inquisitor. Don't question the way I choose to serve Iomade, and I won't question yours. The Aasimar holds up his hands in a placating gesture. Stop. You are the defenders of what remains of Canabers. Can't you think of anything better to do than be at each other's throats in the ruins of the city? Ramian looks at the prelate. You're a fool, Hulrun. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. I told you that the wardstone was weakened. You wouldn't listen. I warned you that the city was going to be attacked. You shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the wardstone, and you stopped them. Of course, those truly responsible for this tragedy are the demons, but you have done nothing to prevent it. And now you would still rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit that you were wrong. As always. With a wave of his wand, the Aasimar vanishes. Beast. Heretic. Traitor. He slipped away again. The prelate stamps his foot in outrage, then turns his eyes on you. What about you? Whose side are you on? If you want me to believe that you're no cultist, go and recapture that traitor for me. Or perhaps you want to defend him. In that case, my soldiers don't need to be told twice. I won't hear another word. Demons are hiding underground, the proof is all around you. The demon spawn that tried to crawl out can't harm anyone now. Wait, you're trying to lure me away from here, aren't you? With narrowed eyes, Hulrun scans you from head to toe. Perhaps you are a cultist too. Want to help your friends underground, do you? Well, you won't fool me. I won't take a single step away from here, and if you keep talking nonsense, I'll have you strung up for treason. Why? Why? You must not be from these parts, or you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere because our enemies are everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons. Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception, they worm their way into your favor and masquerade in all manner of false guises. Do you think Drazen was taken by force? No. By trickery. Were it not for me, Canobers would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. This was a long time ago, I was very young then and I had just joined the crusade. Back then, Canobers didn't have a garrison so much as a public thoroughfare, anyone who wanted could just stroll into the city. One day at dawn, a group of refugees came up to the city gates, bold as brass. The guards let them in, and why not, for no one was ever turned away, 'twas no matter. Everyone was welcome in our city, if you came from Mendef, or if you'd hauled yourself here from across the seas, the crusade accepted all and sundry. But on this occasion, we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as those innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons and rushed toward the wardstone, slaughtering everyone who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. None of them dared to go near it, the light of the goddess burned them all, so they threw the blood from afar, spattering the wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, an eyeless beast, Minago is her name, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals had been sitting ducks. And the creature was right, too. We let our guard down, and we got what we deserved. That bloodbath came to be known as the Red Morning Massacre, and it was burned into the townsfolk's memories. Since then, Canobers has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rabble who coveted Aurelia's glory, we drove them all out of the city. We haven't had any trouble here since. Many have come here, even the Baylor Korumzadeh, and they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or else they were killed for their trouble. You see, Deskari himself had to crawl out of the abyss and come here, the goddess curse him, in order to break through our defenses, and what did he do? He left again. And we're still fighting. Now that is what vigilance and discipline can do. The Baylor Korumzadeh is one of Deskari's most powerful generals, but his personal might is not the only reason why he poses such a threat in combat. They call him the World Wound Strategist, for he is the shrewdest general among demonkind. Not too long ago, he oversaw one of the most successful assaults on Canobers and nearly destroyed the Wardstone, an achievement that only Lord Deskari himself was able to claim in the end. Those crazed Desnans were always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in their dreams. I won't lie, sometimes what they said did come to pass, but can we really rely on the woolly dreams of heretics over the cold hard facts of intelligence reports? Plenty of demons could have easily fooled them and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, Mr. Curls for Brains came to me and declared that demons were about to attack the city and that the Wardstone's power was diminished by some kind of contamination or taint. Iomade forgive me for even repeating the words. After uttering such blasphemy, he should have been locked up along with his followers and interrogated. But instead, I simply increased the surveillance on them. And what next? My people caught them red-handed trying to attack the Wardstone with unknown magic. And not 3 days later, the demons attacked the city. There's an obvious connection between these events. Whether deliberately or under demonic influence, the Desnans played right into the hands of Deskari's hordes, and they almost left the city completely defenseless. Ramian covered for his people the whole time and helped them escape my guards. After that, what else can he be but a traitor and a heretic? How should I know? The weasel can't have gone far. He turned invisible, he's probably hunkered down in some hole, like the traitorous little rat he is, and he'll be sitting, trembling and waiting till he's dragged out of there. With the prelate after you, that seems the only sensible thing to do. It's what I'd do. I'm sure lots of things sound sensible to you. And it works too. As you can see, I'm still alive. Nonsense. I had to deal with a brood of Nabajas. It was nothing, I've taken on worse enemies with the goddess's help. The Inquisitor seems hale and hearty, but you're not sure if his wounds truly are minor or if it's all just bravado. Go on then, if you have to. It would be good if you could return with the head of that scum.
How much longer, I wonder?
Something wrong? Time to share your treasures!
I appreciate privacy.
Into the fray!
I don't like you.
Cover me, all right?
Johnny. Davi tu.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
The light take you!
Out of my way!
Go on.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Endure this!
Go on.
Make every strike count.
Follow me! Or don't.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
I'm not touching that.
Day 20, month Eridus, 8, year 4715. The demon invasion transformed all of Kenabers into one great battlefield, but nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. This place saw a clash of titans, the demon lord Deskari, leading his hordes from the abyss, and the dragon Turendalef, the mightiest of the city's defenders, and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome. A skilled scout could recreate the course of the battle moment by moment simply by looking at the ruins, from the chimneys torn down by powerful wings in a sharp dive, to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon the ruins, it is Oxifog Meteor Stalker, and he is not alone. The shadow of a strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place. Like a gaze untethered from any observer, this mysterious force unknown to mortal kind silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way. In an instant, Oxifog Meteor Stalker is vested with this power and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before him as a unified whole, an unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and flecks marring its splendor. Good and evil, chaos and order, everything is in its lawful place in the multiverse and is no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls from life into death and back to life again. The reality, rid of its flaws, is now perfect, and the eons withdraw to eternally admire its beauty, which will never be threatened again. Beyond passion, beyond mercy, beyond reason, the faceless caretakers of reality toil without end, silently struggling to preserve the tenuous balance upon which all existence depends. These voiceless forces are the eons, inscrutable shapers and eliminators of the multiverse. They exist beyond the understanding of most mortals, endlessly striving toward goals unfathomable even to many of the plane's oldest inhabitants. Eons build order from the chaos of the maelstrom, seed new life upon barren worlds, and halt the rampages of forces grown overbold. They rend nations to vapor, dismantle planets into cosmic dust, and pave the way for calamities. Eons embody the plane-spanning hand of a metaphorical omnipotent clockmaker, endlessly tuning and adjusting the myriad gears of reality in pursuit of ultimate perfection. The River of Souls is the name given to the constant migration of mortal souls from the material plane to Pharasma's boneyard in the outer sphere, where they are judged and sent to their eternal fate. On the astral plane, the River of Souls resembles a massive, winding silver thread. Those who approach can see the countless souls moving through the silver haze like so many schools of fish. The esoteric tradition considers the River of Souls to be a ley line, and simply one part of the multiverse's network of magical pathways. Ruins, blood, corpses, none of this perturbs the Eon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive, the dead will be judged by Pharasma, all is as it should be. But the demons circling in the sky or prowling through the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood-red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals, the demon's place is in the demon world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even the demons aren't as abhorrent as the sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and smashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it, but to the Eon's eyes its mere existence is an outrage against universal laws. If the Eon still existed, they would not stop until the crystal was unmade, but the Eon is gone, and only their gaze remains. Oxifog Meteor Stalker picks the crystal up out of the dirt and stows it in his pocket. He is mortal, which means he has the power to decide what to do with it. Items received: purple stone knife. In the past exists the one who wielded this gaze in life. Although, the one and life are inapposite terms for Eons, the supernatural embodiments of cosmic balance. Rather than who or what, a better word for these entities is how. This Eon appeared from outside this world, from the great beyond, to put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the world wound, the chasm disrupting the order of the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they came to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent Deskari back to the abyss. With one swing of his scythe, the Demon Lord cut the Eon down. The Great Beyond is a term that encompasses all the planes of existence that make up the known multiverse. These realities beyond our reality are the domains of the gods, and are home to non-godly powers fit for worship, planar dragons, and entirely alien races. After allowing the hero to view the world through their eyes, the little that remained of the destroyed Eon is killed, even appropriate here for an entity that is so removed from life and death as we understand them, used up its last vestiges of energy. Now they are ready to disperse into nothingness, unless someone decides to preserve the Eon within themselves. Will the hero take on this power, so that he may again look at the world through another's eyes, or will he allow it to vanish? Oxifog Meteor Stalker is not the kind of person who relies on any eyes but his own. The final traces of the Eon's existence fade away, sending one last look of farewell at him, that piercing, unyielding gaze, full of understanding of something significant, even as it takes that understanding with it into oblivion. A bolt made from an unknown material, dark as night. It absorbs light like black velvet and seems less like an object than a hole in reality itself. The owner of this bolt can shoot it to deal 50 points of damage that can't be ignored or reduced. This bolt cannot miss.
Quiet steps, weapons ready.
Who, me?
Doubt is the heart's greatest challenge.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The spirits demand your blood!
Distract them for me!
You won't survive me.
Split you in half!
I'll watch your back.
Move aside!
Thank the gods, I've found someone who isn't fleeing in a panic. Are you Sea Crusaders? Mercenaries. The comely half-elf is so frightened, he can barely get the words out. I am a servant of Count Durham Nevis Arende. My lord's mansion is under attack by demons. The master himself and all his guests are trapped inside. And the house guards are nowhere to be found. I managed to escape through a servant's passage to look for help. Will you help me? The mansion is only a stone's throw away, on the next street over. He meets your gaze with pleading eyes.
Count Arende. I have seen him a few times before. From afar. He looked highly audacious. I confess that he did capture my attention. But that's neither here nor there, we should help him. The gratitude of a rich and influential man can only benefit us.
You have heard of the Arendes in passing. There is some past tragedy connected with the family. I'll tell you what I can. I was working from dusk till dawn and back to dusk again, serving guests at the Count's banquet. When the other servants came to relieve me at my post, I went to sleep. Next thing I know, I wake up and there are demons inside the mansion. I couldn't even reach the Count, the monsters had blocked the way. The Count's banquet was still going on, he and his guests were in the great hall, and as far as I could tell, the door to the room was sealed and the demons couldn't get in. I'm begging you, hurry. The mansion's doors are sturdily built, the demons will have to work hard to get past them, so you still have time to rescue the people inside.
Demanding a reward for fighting demons? That is dishonorable. And foolish, too, since demons are the enemy of each and every one of us. Today we selflessly help someone to thrash the demons, and tomorrow someone else will help us.
If we were talking about a humble working man or a soldier, I'd be the first to say that we ought to help, because it's the right thing to do. But some filthy rich aristocrat with a mansion? If he wants our services, he can pay for them. I'm trying to imagine how the cave tribes could have survived if we'd had a small group of freeloaders sitting pretty on their inherited wealth, doing nothing while the rest of us starved. I'm sure the Count will reward you handsomely for any rescue. It's not far at all. You're better off entering from the next street over, through the passage I used to get out. Help, I'm begging you, I hate to think what the Count will do to me if I don't bring back help. The golden-curled Asimar greets you with a graceful bow. So, you found me. I have nowhere else to run. I am at your mercy. Kill me if you wish, but, I ask you, hear me out first. Because people might need help, and they will come to the temple in search of a priest. I will not hide away in a hole, saving my own neck, while Canavers is full of people suffering in the wake of the demon's attack. I did. We have a secret ally in the enemy's ranks. No one knows who this brave soul is, but she has been feeding us information about the demon's plans. These dispatches have come to us by the most reliable channel bestowed upon us by the great dreamer herself. They have come to us in dreams. Prelate Hilrun brushed them off as meaningless reveries, and, well, I admit that it isn't always easy to distinguish our allies' messages from ordinary dreams. But even ordinary dreams are gifts from Desna and are always worthy of attention. The prelate, and all the crusade leaders, for that matter, should have put less store in reason, and more in intuition, inspiration, and spontaneity. What's more, not long before the attack on the city, a blind elf who calls himself the Storyteller arrived in Canavers. This wanderer wasn't merely a collector of legends, but a scholar of the unknown. According to him, the wardstone in our city, the first and most important in the chain of wardstones, weakened since long ago, was teetering on the brink of corruption. It seems that the Red Morning Massacre and other demon attacks, even the ones we fended off, did not leave us unscathed. Unfortunately, the prelate did not wish to listen to the storyteller either. We're lucky he wasn't burnt at the stake as a heretic. We had such vital information on our hands, information that could have saved the city, but no one cared to listen all the way to the catastrophic end. In a different time and place, someone perhaps could have become the victim of false dreams sent by monsters. But here, in the war with the Abyss, the goddess is keeping a close eye on her most faithful followers. I have no doubt that if a demon tried to intrude upon the dreams of any one of us, Desna's punishment would have been swift. Ramian looked slightly abashed. When my attempts to open Hilrun's eyes ended in failure, a few of my young adepts resolved to take matters into their own hands. They did not consult me before doing so, but I have never demanded iron discipline from my priests. Army commanders may have subordinates, but I have pupils and fellow worshippers. I can only inspire them, I cannot command them. And it seems they were inspired all on their own. In other words, you get to preach whatever you want, and you don't have to take any responsibility for your flock. You've really got it made. For pity's sake, how can I be held responsible for the actions of others? These are not children we are discussing here, they are grown adults endowed with their own free will, praise the goddess. Of course, we all help one another, but in the final reckoning, each of us decides how we will act, and each must answer for those choices. They had no ill intent, they only wished to access the ward stone in secret and try to cleanse it. But to run this became perform a suspect ritual after hearing even more suspect voices in their dreams. The children wanted to save their city, but the Inquisitors detained them and almost killed them. I had to intervene. I used my authority and my power as a cleric to give them a chance to flee. If they hadn't got away, they were destined for a cell in the prelate's dungeons and, quite likely, death. Oh, I'm not feuding with him. I sincerely wish only the best for the man. In an ideal world, he'd be far away from the front lines enjoying a peaceful retirement. But even if that isn't possible, I have always tried to help him fulfill the mission he has taken upon himself, and to which he has proved fatally ill-suited, protecting Canobers against the demons. Unfortunately, he is convinced that the followers of Desna are heretics and saboteurs. He refused to listen to me, and it was only the knightly orders that deterred him from including us in his witch hunt. Now there is clearly no one left to stand in his way, he is finally free to get rid of us once and for all. Oh, no. I beg you, don't sully your hands with the blood of a fellow crusader, even one such as him. I don't know. Hulrun's faith is truly formidable, not only his faith in Iomade, but in his own infallibility. In other words, he's as hard-headed as a rock troll. But even so, Desna teaches us never to lose hope. Talk to him. Try to explain that we are fighting on the same side. If he attacks you, disarm him, bind his hands, but I beg you, if at all possible, please do not kill him. Wait. 3 of my adepts are hiding somewhere in the ruins of the city. The ones the Inquisitors wrongly accused of treason. I beg you, find them and protect them against the demons, and vigilantes like Hulrun. They will not rest until they find them. If there is anything else you can do to save Canobers, please, do it. Stranger, wait. You spared Ramian despite what that mad Inquisitor told you. The young voice comes from nowhere. Oh, hang on, I forgot to remove the spell. I hope Hulrun's dogs aren't lurking nearby. A pale youth materializes before you. His face looks haggard from lack of sleep, but he is clearly pleased to be speaking to someone. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know where they are. We split up to confuse the Inquisitors who were chasing us. Yes. I am Ilks, cleric of Desna, and one of the people who answered the call of the voice in dreams. Some unknown person made contact with us through our dreams, telling us about the demons' plans. We learned that the demons were planning to attack Canobers and do something terrible to our wardstone, which already carries the taint of corruption. Prelate Hulrun refused to heed our warnings. We had to make a choice. We could either throw up our hands and pull back, or take action, even though it could cost us our lives. But what heartless person could stand by in the face of such a deadly threat? The young man hesitates. Our plan was to get to it and then follow our instincts. There were 3 of us, a cleric, a mage, and a bard. Between us, we know a lot. We're capable of a great deal. If we'd had enough time, I'm sure we could have figured out what's wrong with the wardstone and how to heal it. But they didn't give us time.
Yes, the local commanders got roped into dealing with this. Some idiot kids trying to break into the wardstone, apparently some of ours, but who even knows these days?
Sela sighs.
I know there's no evil in you. I can sense things like that. But what you did was so stupid and impulsive, someone could have got hurt. I know from experience.
So you lot decided that you needed to do something right away, so you did something right away. Great work. Lon gives a sarcastic round of applause. Like the city authorities would have done a better job? They weren't gonna do a thing, even though it sounds like they knew about the danger. All they knew was that some crazies had some weird dreams. But anyway, it's a little late to be trying to pin blame on people. How could we not come up with that plan? You sense the young man's temper rising. Listen. Desna is the goddess of luck. But luck as many lay people would understand it, and luck as we, the followers of the music of the spheres, see it, are far from the same thing. Other people believe that luck is something good that falls into your lap just because, like a generous but unearned reward. We see luck as a fundamental law of creation, according to which even in the darkest hour of the most hopeless situation, a chance of rescue and change for the better can arise. But you've got to seize this chance when it presents itself, or better yet, create your own. Followers of Desna are not people who like idleness and inaction. That's why when Kenabers was in trouble, we did as our goddess had taught us, we took the matter into our own hands and tried in a moment of desperation to pluck our chance from the hands of fate itself. It's not just infighting. It's a matter of life and death, it's about the path we're all on. The adept stops short. Nobody knows what it is, but everyone who has heard it, heard her, I should say, is convinced that she is a good and pure soul chosen by Desna. We had a choice, we could trust her, except that we have an ally somewhere who isn't afraid of all the armies of the abyss, or we could drown in suspicions, and get one step closer to becoming just like Hilrun. We decided to trust the voice. And seeing Kenabers devastated, which is what our unknown ally tried to prevent until the very end, I can see now who had the truth on their side. Desna teaches us to trust in last-ditch chances. Listen, my friends are called Aranka and Thal, Thal the Wallflower. Aranka is an amazing singer and a truly beautiful girl. She has plenty of friends and fans, she's probably blended into a crowd somewhere. Wallflower is a mage, but I don't think he'll risk using magic, it will only bring the Inquisitors down on him. He'll be harder to find. You'd better find Aranka first, she might know where Wallflower is. Please, find them and protect them against the demons and the Inquisitors. I will await news in the goddess's temple, I hope our mysterious helper will send us a new message that will reveal what is to come from the demons. Go. May Desna be with you, stranger.